Hello, Janet Skates here, and we're working on the Color the World 100 Journal project, and I hope that you can hear me okay. It's storming where I am this morning, storming big. We had hail this morning and lots of thunder and lightning, and so I'm guessing that you're hearing some of that, but hopefully you can follow along. My studio's got windows right here close by, so that's probably what you hear. I did another piece if you're interested, or if you don't have access to some of the tools we're going to use today. This was another piece of trees that I did. I love trees, and so I did some trees last night. I was just playing with some trees. It looks darker, I think, on the video, but it's actually fun. I did Posca pens, watercolors, and I think some Tombow markers. So just a fun idea if you want to do something different. But today I'm going to be using a brayer. This is a brayer, and they come in different sizes. This one has got some texture on it from some gesso I used, but you can use whatever you have. I have some others that are different sizes and don't have the gesso buildup, but I like the texture for today. And I'm working on a plastic mat that I keep on my work table. I don't know who made it, so you can't send me questions, but you can Google. It's a plastic art mat, and the paint just peels right off of it. You can clean it super easy, and the paint peels off. It's fabulous. So anyway, you can find it on Google. So let's get started today. We're gonna use the brayer just for some fun today. And I'm going to begin with, let me show you what I have out. You can use craft paints for this. You can use whatever you have. This is just what I have, so this is what I'm using. I've got some white, titanium white, some light ultramarine blue. I just picked out some colors that I'm liking today. This is a light portrait pink, but I've also got, a light magenta. And then I've got some brown. You know, I love to use brown in our pieces. Brown and some Mars black and some orange, Paroli orange. I've also got a medium magenta and a fluorescent magenta, and some mustard gouache, because I am just loving mustard gouache right now. I've got this gorgeous oil stick. We may use some of that as well. Just fun. I'm just loving this mustard color right now. So those are the colors that I'm using, but you can do this with absolutely any colors that you like or have or want to use. And I may go ahead and do a 2-page spread. I think I will. So I'm gonna look at the video here, make sure you can see both pages. You've seen, if you've been doing the project, a lot of times when I'm working, I like to just go ahead and go all the way across the page here and make it a full page spread. I get enough paint out to do that, and so that's sometimes where I end up. So I'm gonna start with the black, and I'm just laying out some black over here on my workspace, and I'm gonna pick up the brayer to get started. Here's another brayer, this one too. It's also, though, got lots of gesso and stuff on it. So I'm gonna pick up my brayer, and I'm just rolling in the paint, and I want the brayer covered in paint at this point. Sometimes you can get just little areas covered, and it's fun that you can make some marks with it, skipping marks, but I'm wanting a solid layer, so I'm gonna put out just a little bit more paint. All right, so I'm getting it really nice and thick on there, and I'll probably let this dry and come back, but let's start with this. And I could do this with a brush easily. So if you don't have a brayer, just use a brush. But you see why the brayer is fun. It just creates some texturing that makes it really interesting. So I'm gonna brayer that side, and I got over here with one piece of paper, so I'm paper sharing. And now I'm gonna do some, I think I'll go a different direction over here. And I'm just working it straight across. So you'll notice I'm gonna go ahead and integrate the marks from page to page, even though our page for today may only be this much. We'll just see. See how we're going. Going with the flow today. Oh, I like those little edgy marks there, so. This is so fun. And you can do this on canvas. I have several canvases that I've done with just a brayer, only a brayer. One of my favorite works that I have is in brayer and only brayer. Super, super fun to work with. So, you can clean your brayer off, and then this will take just a minute to dry. So I want this to dry because I'm really not at this point wanting to make mud. So I'm gonna pause and then I'll be back. Hi, I'm back. My little craft dryer had died before I moved, so I went down and got my hair dryer and dried this so we can get back to work because I didn't want to wait. I also grabbed some of this burnt sienna because the Van Dyke brown is really, really dark. This just adds a little hint of a red to it. So I'll probably mix those two up. And I grabbed some of the Australian blue gum that I just love. The Matisse color is just, it's beautiful. So I want to start first with some of the brown. So I've got a palette going over here, and I'm gonna get some of that brown, and I'll mix a little of that Van Dyke brown with it. Love building these loose backgrounds. Sometimes I get into, like I did earlier with the trees, I get into, you know, really detailed work, and it's nice to spiral out and kind of get back into a looser place. And that's where I am today, just kind of getting back into some play and enjoying and there's no rhyme or reason to this. That's why I love this journal play. There's just going with the flow. I absolutely love the brayer texture though. If you can see where the brown is picking up some of that texture, and I'm just laying over it and it's giving that sponge kind of look. I just love that. Don't want to create a break there. Let's see. Brown, lots of people write to me about brown. I never used brown until we used brown, and because it's brown and they think, yeah, you know, don't want it. But remember, brown is, you know, it's our earth, it's our ground. It's in its Earth Day today. We already did a world that I did way back when I started the project. So if you haven't done that, go back and do an earth. It's a really fun project. But of course, I didn't think about that when I started. I didn't wait until today for that project, but it's a good day. Any day's a good day to remember where we live and the great developments that are coming around with what we're learning here through this time of lockdown. Okay, so now I've got the portrait pink and light magenta out, and I'm kind of just stirring those up here. I love in these colors too. So I just want to build in, look at that. It is so wow. So wow on here. Absolutely just love that. And I've just got a mix of them going over here. If you can, well, you can't quite see that, but I got a mix going on my palette. So I'm just kind of, you know, having fun, looking where I want to see that pop of color. And we're bringing in more color. Now, right here, I mixed on that lighter mix of portrait pink with the light magenta, and now I'm grabbing up some of that light magenta and just kind of making some marks over it. So we've got that little twist to it, that little two-tone. I've talked to you on the live videos about color on color layering, and it's so powerful. It's so powerful. So that's what I'm doing there. And I'm just turning that brush sideways and just making some fun marks with it. Again, no plan, just like that. All right, and now let's see about popping in a little of that orange. Now, what I've got going on right here, I want to see, I don't want that orange to be too intense. Well, it looks pretty good. But you can mix your orange here with just a tad bit of white if you want. You know, I've been going toward that color of the Tombow markers. If you've been painting with me on the journal project, you know there's that one color of Tombow marker. It's a red-orange, and it has just been a favorite lately. So that seems to be where I'm going with all this orange lately. And orange is not a color that I always gravitate to. So this is fun to see. I gotta get my cleaning. I'm drying off my brush a little bit. And taking that orange now, and sorry, I got something in my eye. No. So I want to take that orange and just this is a place that I might also use a really nice coral, but I'm liking the orange here. Yeah. And I'm wanting some going over here. Oh, I love that. So just twisting my brush as I come down. Remember, we can make straight lines with rulers. There we go. Super fun. All right. Now, let's add a little of this blue gum I've got sitting up here. Let's see what this looks like when we come in. I love this color. I think I have 3 or 4 tubes of it. I keep on hand. I need the backup, the spares. But it's a beautiful, beautiful color. And again, remember, we're keeping it loose and light. That's what today is all about. Getting back to some fun, loose play. Because we've been doing detail pen work, which, you know, you tend to get into because for me, I'm sitting a lot in the house and, well, I'm outside a lot too, but I like to get comfy in my chair and do a lot of doodling and play. So I've been doing a lot of the smaller line work, but this is really fun. All right, now I'm gonna mix up a little of that orange now. I've still got, no, I'm gonna add up a little more orange and some light magenta. You know, but it's one of my favorite corals. And then we're gonna pop in some fluorescent magenta on top of that. makes such a beautiful coral. Absolutely gorgeous color here, and one of my favorites. You see it in probably the majority of my paintings. Okay. Now, I'm just looking, seeing where I'm at here. And I want to get some of that. Oh, see, look at that. So I'm just building up from what I did earlier. And remember, we're not covering up, we're layering. We love to layer. I love to layer. I hope you love to layer too. I think I want to see just a little bit of this color up here. Yeah. All right. Now I'm going to dry real quick and I'll be right back, but I want to dry real quick so that we don't get too much mixing going on here. All right, I'm back now with a dry. I've got a little bit of wet where it's really thick there, but this is relatively dry, and I want to bring in some white now. I'm using a titanium white. You could also use that Titan Violet Pale. It's just gorgeous. That would be another one I might recommend, but I'm gonna go with white today. This is doing just perfect for what we need. So I want to create some interest here with this contrast. That white is just brilliant. Still seeing this brayer texture. Loving that. And now this is very organized over here, so I'm just going to break it up just a little there. Can't be too organized. Okay, loving that. And now I want to come in with just a tiny bit of that. Now I'm going to add some of this light ultramarine blue. I love this color, and it adds such a dynamic pop on the right pieces. It can be a little funny. You can get this color and it just clashes horribly, and it goes to this awful direction. I don't know. It happens, but I feel like on here this is just what I want to see, and I think I'm going to keep it away from the orange at this point and maybe go right in through here with some of my favorite circles. I'm just looking. I'm still here. I'm just looking. want just a tad bit more of this, and I think it's going to be right over here. Yeah. The pop that adds is just, and when you finish a background like this, you can leave as is, or you can come in with the line work and add a body of line work into a piece, you know, on top of this background. So that's really up to you how far you want to go with it. I like both ways, and I often do both ways. I'm wanting just a little bit of this fluorescent magenta. Now I'm not mixing here. I'm using this straight out of the jar. I'm going to add some of that over. Can you tell that I got over here today to do this without the brushes? So I'm just using the little brushes I had sitting here. I didn't, no special brushes. This was literally grab what's on the table. And that's what I was doing. There we go. I love just a pop of that. It's so fun. Maybe, nope, I'm gonna stop there. All right. Now I want to, you could use an oil stick here or paint, but let's do a little bit of mark making. I've got my trusty Stabilo pencil here, the Stabilo All pencil. That might be a place where I would come in and add some marks in the circles, or just random. The paint here is still a little bit tacky, so I love drawing in it with the All pencil. It just picks up a little of that color. Now here, like I said, here is a background that you could come in now and you could begin adding more mark making all over. So what I may do is stop this for today, and then tomorrow incorporate the marking and show you kind of where we're at with mark making on it. So that concludes today. We're gonna stick with that. I hope that you like it. I hope that you're having fun and trying some different tools around the house. If you don't have a brayer, grab an old credit card or paint brushes. If you've got any trowels, tools like that, grab those and use those to create a super fun background. And then tomorrow, I think we'll take it a step further. Thank you, thank you.